Alright guys, welcome back to another day here at Two Eagles Garage. This is the first video coming to you since we started the just after we started the quarantine. You know, we've all been kind of trying to stay home, and for the most part, to be honest, I've been waiting on parts. I haven't been able to get parts in here due to the quarantine. So I finally got 2 parts in today. I got the shutoff valve for the four-wheeler, and I got the carburetor for the Arian's zero turn. Today we're going to do the shutoff valve for the four-wheeler. We're going to clean the tank, install the shutoff valve, and start getting the four-wheeler button back up. And there shouldn't be but a couple more videos on it before we're ready to test drive it, and it'll be ready to go, guys. So without further ado, let's get going and get this tank cleaned out. Now, I've had this tank sitting for a day already with gas sitting in it. And give me a second, guys, get a little prepared here, and I'll give you a shot of the tank. This is what the tank looks like. I can't set it up straight and down. I mean, set it out flat because I have the shutoff valve there loose on it a little bit. But I flushed it with gas, and it's been sitting around for a couple days, and I've been sloshing it back and forth, trying to make sure I got everything out of it. So now it comes time to pour everything out of it and see how it's going to go. Hopefully I can get everything out, because you know there's a little spot in the top of the tank where you can't get everything out, so it all has to be done through this hole. So hopefully we can do this here without making too big of a mess. And it is not looking good, folks. It is dirty. Oh, it's dirty. Oh yeah, we may have to do this again. Yeah, because it's got a lot of weird stuff coming out of it. A lot of weird stuff. Don't believe I've seen a tank this dirty in a while. And guys, I'm just pouring it into an old gas can that I pour old varnish gas into. This will later be disposed of correctly whenever it gets full. Your local AutoZone will be able to help you with disposal of it and stuff like that. Any local auto parts place will be able to help you with that. Trying to make sure that I don't have anything left down there that doesn't need to be in it. Because the old shutoff valve come apart inside it, and the last thing I want is for any of that to get in the new fuel system, especially with a brand new carburetor and stuff like that I just put on it. Meanwhile, I'm making my shop stink to high heavens, because this stuff smells horrible. Smells absolutely horrible. We'll clean off the making surface a little bit here. I think that'll be alright. We still may or may not put a pre-filter on it. Nah, I don't know. We'll see. Let me take a look down in the tank and see what it looks like down in there. Guys, I hope you've all been staying safe and staying in good health at home. Hopefully all this will be over before long. And it doesn't look extremely good inside there, but it looks about as good as it's going to get. So we'll just run that from there. It don't stink anymore, at least. At least it smells like real gas now instead of whatever was in it. Because if you guys remember correctly, the stuff that was in this tank was a green material. I've never seen fuel look like that in my life. Alright guys, and the part we have here for it is going to be the shutoff valve. for the tank, the shutoff slash reserve valve. And yes, it's made in China. I know it before anybody says it. Yada yada. If you guys want to fork over the money to pay for American-made parts, then by all means, buy the parts and send them to me. This was cheap. I'm doing this on the cheap because I still don't know everything about the pull-wheeler yet. So right now we're keeping it cheap, keeping it simple. This is the part number. And you can find this part on Amazon. I ordered this part on Amazon before the quarantine started. And due to the quarantine, it took it forever to get here. So I'm going to do an unbagging on it. I did open it to make sure it was the right part. Going to do an unbagging on it and show you guys what it looks like. And it comes wrapped in this out of that gray bag. And you get the rubber O-ring that goes on it. Rubber gasket, O-ring, whatever you want to call it. You get the filter. The in-tank filter. I still may put an inline filter on it yet, I don't know. And then you get the shutoff valve itself, which is got a reserve filter on it, and it's got the tube for the other one. Got a brass tube here, the brass tube here. It seems to be a really well made part, guys. This part probably could have been made a little better, but I mean compared to the one, oh sorry guys. But I mean, compared to the one that come off of it, it doesn't look like you could get much better. I mean, there's not a whole lot better you could do than that. I mean, like I said, it does look like a good quality part. The shutoff valve does feel positive when you turn it to one or the other locations. So I think it'll be a good part, guys, and we're going to get this installed here. And yeah, I'm using the old bolts. I'm not going to use any new hardware with it. Just because I don't think it's just going to be a work puller, guys. I'm not going to use it. It's not going to be sold or anything like that. And it's not going to be nothing fancy. It's just a work puller is all it is. Let's see if I can get this set up to where you guys can see what I'm doing. Let's see here. We'll tweak you just a little bit there. Excuse my leg being in the frame, guys. I have a shop chair I sit in whenever I do stuff out here. Helps me get around a little bit. Alright guys, you'll put this on here like this, and I'll move it out of frame just so I can get it pressed on there. A little easier that way. And it'll press on just like that, guys. Do be gentle with it, because it is just a little screen filter. I mean, it's tiny enough to screen out just about anything, so I don't have any worries that it won't screen anything out, but I don't believe I want to take the chance of something getting down in my carburetor. And guys, I did clean around where this is going to mount at right here and everything like that. I did wipe around it, clean around it with brake parts cleaner and stuff like that. Washed it off with fuel. Then you just take your little O-ring here, slide it down over this, and you want to make sure it seats down in the groove that's on this. Make sure it seats down in there good, because you do not want this thing popping out. You want it to seal good and stay in there, because essentially, guys, this is what holds your fuel in your tank. Without this little gasket, your tank's going to slowly leak that fuel out. Alright guys, and make sure you put the valve on facing right. Make sure you put it to the outside of the tank. Don't put it to the inside. Believe me, I've seen people try to do it. When you work on stuff like this, you see a little bit of everything. Oh, don't fall down. Uh-oh, guys. And we may have a little bit of a problem already. I may have to widen those holes out, because that filter is not going to fit. Yep, that's what it looks like. Crap. I was hoping to not have to do that. Are you serious? Is it not going to fit? Yep, not going to fit. Alright guys, I will bring you back after I have enlarged this hole And in the future, if you guys would like to see me doing stuff like this, let me know, guys. I mean, I don't mind videoing it. Right now, I'm just not set up for it. And I don't have anything but an electric drill to drill the hole with. So it's going to be fairly noisy. So I'll bring you back whenever I finish this and let you guys see what it looks like. Alright, guys. Sorry about that. I don't be prepared for stuff like that whenever I have new parts coming in, because I like to take the parts that I order and show you guys me opening them straight out of the box. I don't like to pre-open them and stuff like that. I open them, look at them, make sure they look right, but that is it. I don't bring them out here and pre-fit them or anything like that. So what you just saw was a mishap of me not pre-fitting it, and that's okay. That's what this channel's about. Everybody's not perfect, and I'm not claiming to be perfect. This channel's not perfect. Nobody on the planet's perfect, and if I think they are, there's something wrong. Okay? People make mistakes. And this is just what happens whenever you buy cheaper parts or buy parts from other countries. Sometimes they're going to be made or manufactured just a little bit different. They're not always going to be done perfectly. And in this case, enlarging this hole just a little bit isn't going to hurt a thing. It doesn't hurt the sealing capabilities of it. It doesn't do anything but enlarge it enough to fit that screen around it. And if I ever want to find an original one to go back on this, it doesn't hurt it. I mean, it's still the same thing. You just put the original one on. Because the only sealing surface is where this O-ring is. That's it. And I didn't enlarge it amazingly big or anything like that. I just went up just a little bit. And as you guys will see right here, I just went up, if I can get this tank to stay still and cooperate, I just went up enough just to fit that filter in. See how it just barely fits that filter in? And that's exactly what I wanted to happen, because it will shrink over time as the fuel sets on it, the little filter wheel. It will shrink up over time. So it's not that big a deal. And this one does have brass inserts to screw the bolts into. You still don't want to gorilla tight them, but I mean, you want them to be fairly tight to make sure you get a good seal. And once again, guys, I mean, it comes with, as with doing everything that like this, comes with a little common sense, guys. Don't get some big breaker bar and try to tighten these up. You just want to snug them down. And because mine's a little bit newer of a gasket, I'm going to snug mine down a little bit tighter to allow for shrinkage. And I'm not getting these tight, guys. It just looks like it. This is just snugging up what's loose in it. And you want to kind of try to snug them up even as possible so that it seals even. Because these tanks are uneven sometimes, especially these plastic tanks. They warp and change with temperature and such like that. So be mindful, guys. I mean, like there's pretty snug. I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to tighten this one up. I'm going to feel it getting snug. And then I'm going to stop right about there. And same thing with this one. I'm going to stop it right about there. And that's it, guys. I mean, that's installed and it's sealed good. I mean, this is going to fit my little Bayou, Kawasaki Bayou perfectly. Because the tank's in actually really good condition, except for this right here. If any of you guys may know what that is, let me know. I don't know why it would be made like this right here. Let me know if you guys know what that is. I know on some of them it's like a fuel gauge or something like that. I don't know why it would be colored like that. That is different to me. Never seen one done like that. But I'm going to screw the lid back on this. And I'm going to transport you guys over here and get set up to install the tank. And I'll bring you back. Guys, all set up and welcome back. Let's get this tank installed. Oh, and I did notice another difference, guys. the fuel line angle on this is cocked off to the side instead of straight off the bottom like the original one was. For my setup, it won't matter. It won't make a difference because it'll still fit either way. But for your setups, it may vary. It may be different. So pay attention for stuff like that. Always make sure it points in the right direction or in a direction you can work with. In my case, I can make it work, so I'm not worried about it. And we're going to slide this tank on like this right here. And I'm having to reach around you guys because you guys are literally right in my face. So be patient. And I'm just checking my bolts here real quick, guys. I want to make sure I've got the right bolts. Make sure I'm putting the right hardware where it belongs. Because nothing's more irritating than trying to put something together and the hardware is not where it goes. Believe me, I've done that more than once. And it can be quite irritating. There we go. Now we got the right hardware. Alright guys, just put these 3 bolts in right here. And what I like to do whenever I have multiple bolts, I like to keep one out to go by the size for whatever socket I'm going to use. If I don't have a toolbox here readily at me, which I don't. You guys know me by now. You guys know I'm not prepared. And if you guys seem a little more wobbly, it's because I have you on the handlebars, which does make the camera work just a little more wobbly, but it's not bad. At least I haven't noticed it. If you guys notice it, let me know. We'll see what we can do to get it mounted permanently. And this part's a little bit more tedious part because you got to find where your holes are. And on something like this right here, you really don't have much space to work with. So you got to kind of do what you got to do. Alright guys, let me find a socket and ratchet real quick and I will be right back. Not gonna make you guys leave this time. I'm just gonna let you sit there and stare at that beautiful tank for a minute. Won't hurt you. You be alright. We all tough little growing adults here. You'll be fine. And of course, it's never the first socket you pick up. That's alright though, I've got enough tools to supply the world, so it'll be alright. We'll just find when it does fit. And there it is. Get a ratchet. And find an extension somewhere. Because for the past couple weeks, my extensions have, for some reason, been able to grow legs and walk off. I don't know where they have started going, but I do wish whoever keeps taking them would return them. Because by now it's getting pretty old. I have plenty of 3/8" extensions and 1/2" extensions, but no 1/4" extensions. And it's not that I don't have them, it's that they keep walking off. Why they keep walking off, I don't know. Or where they seem to be going, I don't know. They seem to kind of have a mind of their own. Oh, come on now. Don't start with me today. This last little bolt's in a tight spot, so getting it in is a little different than normal. That, and you don't want to cross thread it, because who wants to sit around retapping holes all day that didn't have a problem in the first place? There we go, that should be good. Alright guys, let's tighten this tank down, hopefully for the last time. Won't need an extension for this one, so we won't use it. But we should be getting right close to being able to test drive this thing. Finally. We know that it runs. And we know everything seems to function, as far as we know. So actually, test driving it would be the final test, but I can't test drive it till I change the oil, because I checked the oil in it a few weeks ago and realized the oil is way over full. I don't know if some of that fuel may have leaked into it when the carburetor went bad or what happened, but it was way, way, way over full. So we're not going to run it much until we can change the oil and oil filter in it. Just because I don't want to risk blowing out the rings and washing out the cylinder and stuff like that. I know some people might say just for testing purposes to run it, but I would rather not do all this work and have it go into an engine that blows itself up the first couple times I run it. Would be my preferability. And I do plan on maybe rebuilding this engine at some point in time, but as of right now, that's not really an option. It's going to be used right now, and that's what it's intended for. Sorry for the vibration, guys. Once again, you are attached to the handlebars. That should do it, guys. That was the last bolt there, and the 3 bolts holding this tank on. And that doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere. Pick you guys up for a second, show you the bolts. You got 1 bolt there, 1 bolt here under the handlebars, and you've got another bolt hiding here under the handlebars. There you go. And guys, that's the tank and the shutoff valve put on today. Here's the shutoff valve. Still have good access to it. Don't mind this, that's just off because I still have the front plastics off. But guys, we're getting there. It is on the way to being finished. Just a few more parts. I don't have to order anything else for it. I just have to go to the parts place and pick up some oil and a filter. And I should be able to find the filter behind the shelf. And then just cosmetic things like this pull cord piece over here. I'm going to either fix it or just put it back on for now. Doing some headlights, just button up little odds and ends, but we're going to test drive it before we do all that. Alright guys, this is another wonderful, beautiful, windy day here at Two Eagles Garage. You guys have a good week. Stay safe. Keep your family safe. And remember, above all else, God will heal and help us all. So we should all be thankful for our lives that we get every day. You know, here on the channel we try to promote family friendliness and time with family, wives, children, whoever that may be. So you guys have a nice week and have a good Mother's Day weekend. Be safe. Two Eagles Garage signing out.